We have a full review for this next one over here. Evil Dead Rise. We got to catch this over at the South by Southwest Film Festival, where we were there at the premiere. It comes from Lee Cronin, who we also saw his previous movie at another film festival over at Sundance. The Hole in the Ground was this creepy movie about this kid who finds a hole in the ground. And while that movie was okay, it had a lot of creepy imagery, I didn't really care too much for the story in the end of it. He continues having very creepy imagery. Again, not too much of a story that I can connect with. I recently went and rewatched all of the Evil Deads, bro. Evil Dead, the first one, The Evil Dead, is pretty solid. I understand why people like it. Evil Dead 2, I don't know when was the last time you've caught that one or if you've seen it. Evil Dead 2 is fantastic. If that is the epitome of what this franchise could be, then I am waiting for them to go back to that goofy Sam Raimi style. This feels like the junior to the 2013 one. I don't know how you felt about that one.
I actually didn't see the 2013 one, but I know that one has more of a reputation.
I'm gonna buy you a copy. I'm gonna send it to your house, bro.
I know you love the Fetty version, right? But
the Fetty version's great. You would hate the Fetty version. It's crazier than this one.
So you were underwhelmed by the humor in Lee Cronin's, because there's some bits there. There's the eyeball bit that I chuckled at.
Yeah, there's some funny parts. I can see how they're homaging to it, but to me, a lot of this Evil Dead Rise felt like, yo, do you remember the originals? We're about to reboot. No, we just had the 2013 one. It feels like the second reboot. The closest thing I can connect it to is Ghostbusters Afterlife, pretending like the Ghostbusters from 2016 didn't just like appear and was the Force Awakens return to the franchise. I feel like they're rebooting it to a degree. I was a big fan of the 2013 one. I thought that they were able to go all out with the gore. This one, like I said, almost gets there. I think it's able to deliver on a lot of the gory elements that people will be satisfied with. I was satisfied with it for the most part, but there's an element to it where I want to get to know the characters just a little more, and I felt I had that better in the 2013 version.
Yeah, I feel like there's also an element, because they're sacrificing the character so much and not really diving into that, where when they do start a horror set piece, like it kind of feels like it's just sort of happening. There's not as much of like a rise and fall of a introducing of the elements and then like a easing of the tension. It just kind of is like throwing different scary things at you for the duration. Yeah. And I don't know, I just feel like there are films that have given me a similar feeling to Evil Dead Rise, but have done it with a little bit more craft or, I don't know, thematic resonance than this one, which just felt like assaultive in a torture porn type of way.
It's to me, it's right before that. I'm not fully in there, but I can feel you. It's definitely not one that's going to convince somebody who is not a fan of these movies. However, that intro, I do have to shout it out. When it hits, it hits. That beginning is fantastic. It is mixed beautifully, and I thought we were going to be in that element for a majority of the movie. But I am surprised that, at least around us, this is not in Dolby. This is not an IMAX. Like I said, the Mario movie is still scooping up the IMAX and the Dolbys. Avatar is back in there. So this doesn't, at least around us, have a full premium release. So even though I'm not head over heels over the movie like that, it kind of sucks that people aren't able to see it in a Dolby release, because that's exactly how I would recommend it for those who are looking forward to this. But hey, the trailers are now done. You guys can watch the NBA playoffs, the hockey playoffs, without being assaulted by this trailer anymore. But yeah, I'm curious to see where they take it next.
Pretty well in its opening weekend. Cool, 23.5 million. So
that's pretty decent.
Like we're not necessarily going to have to wait another decade for another Evil Dead film. Are you eager to spend more time in the franchise?
Yes. So they keep teasing this idea of bringing in the old Ash, bringing in the remaining one from the last one, and then whoever may be alive at the end of this without spoiling it, right? And then combining it together. They're trying to do what I know the Jigsaw series, Saw is trying to do right now as well, kind of bringing the whole universe into one. Yes, I would very much like that. That would be awesome for me. So, Zach, please watch Evil Dead 2. I promise you it is not as gory. It's fun gory. It's actually fun gory. It is the complete opposite of this torture porn that's there. But then do watch the 2013 one, because that is even worse than what you think it is.
I'll watch the old ones for Raimi at least.
For sure. Evil Dead Rise in theaters. If you get to catch Dolby, lucky for you.